Thank you very much. Our next speaker tonight is Honorable Evarist Bartolo, Member of Parliament. He is Member of Parliament since 1992. He has served as main spokesperson for education, European affairs, tourism, culture, youth, and media. He also served as Minister for Education and National Culture and initiated many reforms in education. Honorable Evarist Bartolo had BA Honours in English from University of Malta and Masters in Education Journalism from University of Wales, Cardiff. He is a lecturer in communications at University of Malta, Center of Communications Technology, member of strategy groups for public communication campaigns. He is a regular contributor to media and is a prominent public speaker. May I invite him to address this gathering.
Thank you, dear friends, for this invitation. I'd like to share with you some of the thoughts that I think should guide the relationship between politics and religion. Probably I'm addressing the wrong audience because you're already open-minded, tolerant, and ready to accept diversity. It's the people out there who we need to address. The person I think who has influenced me most in the relationship between politics and religion and the attitude that I think we should have towards religions is the poet Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran has a beautiful verse which I always quote and which I would like to share with you, which says that the different religions are like the different fingers of the same hand with which human beings try to touch the face of God. And I think that religions should be treated with that kind of respect, that they are, yes, different, but that they are also part of the same force, part of the same reality. And I think this approach would help us a lot, and especially Khalil Gibran. That position is formed in a country which has seen so many clashes of religions. So he was obviously trying to find, he himself was a Christian, he was trying to find a way of how we can live together. Now, if this was a big challenge in the days of Khalil Gibran, it has now become a big challenge, I think, worldwide. Perhaps once upon a time, although probably it's a myth, it was easier to live on this planet, on this globe, when we were apart from each other, when we were all fenced within our borders. So we did not mix. So perhaps that seems to be a more orderly life. And then with the famous another poet who writes about how it's important to cross borders to become human, actually. You know, the Robert Frost, good fences make good neighbors. You know, let's build fences, let's build walls so that we'll remain good neighbors, you know, apart from each other, away from each other. Let's perhaps not kill each other, but let's remain apart. That is not an option anymore, even if we want to do it. You know, with the movement of people moving from one country to another. And I think it's an enrichment, whatever the fear and whatever the, you know, the conflicts and the crisis that it is creating for our civilizations today. I think it's an enrichment that people of different cultures and different religions have to find ways of living together within the same border. Perhaps in our case, we still have not been exposed enough to this reality. I think in the EU, I stand to be corrected, but as far as I know, we are among those countries where multiculturalism and the impact of different cultures is still quite low because of the inflow of different people. But I think it will increase in the future, and I think the sooner that we prepare for it, the better. unfortunately, as human beings, we don't tend to prepare. First, we let things happen, and then we try to fix, what goes on. But perhaps learning from others, we can prepare better for how to manage diversity, how to live together. Not simply tolerating each other, something deeper than that, accepting each other's diversity. I might perhaps have the arrogance to propose how perhaps we can do it. Whenever I say these things, I know that it's always easier said than done, accepting diversity, accepting each other, not being close-minded, opening our minds and hearts to each other. All that sounds nice. It tends to become much more difficult when it comes to actually putting it in practice in our daily lives. I would, first of all, I find myself in agreement with most, if not everything, that Dr. Busuttil has said. I think that religions have a lot to contribute to politics, and vice versa. I think if you take the core values of world religions, you will find that they have a lot which is similar, and which I think needs to be celebrated. The similarities, okay, let's talk about the differences, but I think the similarities of the core values of the big world religions, it's important to celebrate the kind of sameness that there is in them, especially with, confronting the theory of the clash of civilizations, which in most cases is the clash of religions. Ultimately, I think putting as an answer to that, yes, the alliance of civilizations and finding ways of working together. So that would also be the alliance of religions. But I think there are things that we need to do to be able to do this. And I would say that the biggest challenge that we face is, now I'm talking in terms of a political project, is to have the state which is really lay. I think we need the state to be lay. Now, when I talk about, I use the word lay on purpose. Personally, to put my cards